Grumble, grumble. Hey everyone, it's the Grumpy Meatball, and I'm coming at you with some Shadows of Brimstone gameplay today. This time we are going to be looking at the mission from Shadows of Brimstone Adventures. Comes with the Crimson Hand Dark Acolyte enemy pack, and it is called Reliquary. The Crimson Hand have stolen a powerful occult relic and are getting away. Chasing them into the night, you follow the cultists back to their hidden lair, only to become lost in the deep, dark, and twisting pathways. Setup. This adventure may start in any Earth-based world. Instead of starting on an entrance map tile, place a T-junction passage with all the exits as open doorways. The heroes may start anywhere on this map tile. Placing this tile does not move the hero party marker. Search the map for a T-junction passage card and discard it. Roll a d8 to determine which relic you're searching for. 1 to 2 is the Crypt Dagger. 3 to 4 is the Leeching Ring. 5 to 6 is the Spell Book. And 7 to 8 is the Arcane Statue. Mission goal. The heroes have entered a hidden reliquary of the Crimson Hand. Now lost in the labyrinthine pathways, you must search for the stolen relic and find a way out. Special rules, linear paths and dead ends. Do not use the door gate icons printed on exploration tokens. Instead, all exploration tokens only include a single door. Whenever a clue is found, there are no doors instead. So every exploration token has a door unless you find a clue, in which case there's no exit at all. Shadow Whispers. All horror hits from voices in the dark cause 2 sanity damage each. So don't spread out. Maze of Madness. During this adventure, the light source only covers the map tile that the hero carrying it is currently on, not adjacent map tiles. Whenever a passage map tile is placed, immediately roll a depth event using a d6 to determine which is triggered. Whenever an exploration token is revealed, it gains 1 extra encounter for each door gate icon printed on the token. Okay. Relic Thieves. Whenever a clue icon is found, that exploration token gains attack, Dark Acolytes, based on the threat level. The first clue found is the location of the stolen relic. After resolving all encounters and attacks, one hero must take the relic. While that hero has the relic, they are subject to its cursed influence as described below. The relic may be traded to a different hero at any start of the turn. Any other clues found on the same turn as the relic are ignored, though it still triggers the Relic Thieves' special rules. Okay, so if you were to find another clue on the same turn, you don't get to move the escaping the maze forward, but you still get attacked. So I don't know why the fuck you would do that. If you have the Crypt Dagger, your hits are +2 damage, but you are -1 on your defense rolls. If you have the Leeching Ring, you heal 3 wounds at the start of each turn, but your health is reduced to half, rounding up. The Spell Book gives you cover 5, but -1 on your willpower, and the Arcane Statue lets you recover a grit once per turn, but if you do, take D3 -1 corruption points, ignoring willpower. You are also -1 corruption resistance. When the third clue is found, the heroes have discovered the way out. Reveal all growing dread cards in the stack. Then, in addition to any encounter attack on the exploration token, roll a d6, no grit. On a roll of 3+, fight the Relic Thieves as normal. On a roll of 1 to 2, instead of the Relic Thieves, the heroes must face an epic threat that includes the High Priest. Once all enemies have been defeated, the heroes escape, successfully completing the mission. And then at the end, for a reward, each hero may gain d6 times 150. The hero with the relic may keep it instead of gaining gold. Okay, so that's really interesting. So you could move forward with this relic, but of course, they kind of hamper your ability to do that. because they do not provide you with cards for these relics, which means you would have to have this fucking piece of paper out, which nobody in their goddamn right mind is ever going to do after they play the missions. So this is kind of a cool and yet pointlessly stupid bonus, where like for the rest of all time, with all the shit that this game has, for you to sit out, are you gonna have this giant thing sitting there? Like, no. Stupid. I guess you could write it down. Yeah, you could write it down. So maybe I'm the stupid one. Maybe I'm the asshole. There's no doubt about that. If you fail, each hero takes 2d6 corruption hits. Okay, so let's do this. Let's fucking do this. Where are my map tiles? So I'm going to be playing as my Jargono native, which is the character that I'm kind of currently playing through in my campaign. You know what? You know what's interesting is I don't know if the Spanish Fort has a T-junction without the map expansion. I guess we will find out. It's got that might be the closest thing. Yeah, and I'm just going to use that because that is the T-junction. Oh, silly grumpy people. I was thinking it was the cross junction, the four-way. But I was wrong. I'm capable of being wrong. Never claimed otherwise. Shit, I've already been wrong twice in this video, and it's not even going for 5 minutes. All right. So that's where we start. I mean, there's no reason to fuck around. Start right there. Because you can start anywhere on the T-junction. And away we go. Heroes, linear pass. Gate icons. Roll a d8 to determine which relic we're looking for. The Crypt Dagger. Your hits are +2 to damage, but you're -1 in your defense roll. Okay. Discard the T-junction map card. Shuffle the rest of the map cards. So again, I'm playing as my Jargono native. This is the character that I'm currently using in the Valley of the Serpent Kings campaign. He has Treetop Hunter, 2-hit range 4+, double shot with bow. Once per turn, when you kill an enemy with a bow, you gain +1 shot with that bow. He's got the Jargono bow, range 7, shots 1. Critical hits on 5 or 6, uses the d8 for damage. He's got, right now he's currently wielding 2 of these dueling daggers, which are really interesting. They are +1 initiative, and your combat hits are +1 damage if your agility is higher than the target's defense, and an extra +1 damage if also higher than the target's initiative. And I have 2 of them. So that means that on an enemy whose initiative and agility are lower than mine, I'm doing +4 damage on my hits. He's got his tribal tattoo, +1 strength. You always get defense rolls, even against hits that would normally ignore defense. He's got his Darkstone Blade, but he's not using it. at the moment. Your combat hits are critical hits on the roll of 5 or 6. So I'm choosing to take the extra potential damage rather than the extra crit. And then he's kind of a defensive beast. He's got padded trousers. Once per turn, prevent 1 wound you're about to take. And he's got the elegant shoulders. Once per adventure, prevent up to X wounds you're about to take, where X is equal to your agility. His agility is 5, so he can block 5 hits. And he is level 2 at the moment. And when I leveled up, I chose the talent Enemy Tracks. Once per adventure, use 1 grit to switch, attack, or ambush on an exploration token into 2+ encounters instead. The rest of the token remains the same. So that's really useful for avoiding those brutal ambush tokens. I got my token set here that I'm using. All this stuff is obviously from Valley of the Serpent Kings. He's got a grit. He's already got his grit. I'm also going to be using the Heroic Effort cards. In a hero party of 1 to 2 heroes, each hero can draw 1 of these cards at the start of every fight, or 2 cards if only a single hero. So I get 1 of these fantastic cards at the start of every fight, which is nice. It's a real low-key quote from Carl Spackler from Caddyshack. So I got that going for me, which is nice. All right. So we start out by holding back the darkness. Got my new Tradera dice. I really love these. Very, very cool looking. And I even have a really cool white peril die. I always roll my hold back the darkness 1 at a time. So I find I have better luck that way. And there's a 5 right there. 6, 7. The darkness is held. Need to reset my hit points. I have 18. And 13 sanity. All right. So my first turn, I'm going to explore. So basically nothing else is going to happen. We're going to move this forward. We're going to draw a corner passage. I meant to get tiles out. Failed to do so. So right away we're getting one of the dreaded passage cards out of the way, which in this mission, if I recall correctly, cause a depth event. I usually don't pay too much attention to the instructions on how to orient these tiles, just because the game ends up sprawling all over the place, and if you have a bunch of people playing, you end up having to, shift stuff around anyways. So I just kind of throw it out there. I got to roll a d6 on the depth events. Chart. Dark Dread. Things are looking more and more bleak by the moment. Draw a growing dread card and add it to the stack. Ugh. Fuck you. Here's my puny growing dread stack for Valley of the Serpent Kings. Of course, I have literally hundreds of these cards I could pull from other sets, but I'm perfectly fine to leave it as is. That just goes right there and screws me over later. Oh, and I get 5 XP for exploring. So you'll see I'm using some kind of custom components here. I've got character sheets that I printed out where I'm tracking stuff like XP, health, gold, all my stats, etc. I've got a deck of level up cards that I created so that I can have those represented out on the board. I just find that if you don't have a physical card to represent them, that they never get used. This is something that they should really they should print these. I understand not printing the town cards, but there's absolutely no excuse for them not printing, at least as some kind of like a custom, you know, like a specialty order off the website. There's really no excuse for them not printing a run of mini level up cards for each character, or even full size, because otherwise you have to write all that shit down. Look at all this. You're gonna write this down on a piece of paper, be flipping around, like, no fucking way. It's just never gonna get used, and leveling up becomes useless. I need to remember I'm +1 damage against beast enemies, and I gain +2 initiative in the first turn of an ambush attack. And I do have that stuff written down. I have that on my... Oh, no I don't. Fuck you. Okay. I'm sure I've been forgetting that every single time I play this game. I also have a shitload of tokens from the dueling station in the Conquistador set. We'll talk about those when they come into play. All right, so going back to Holding Back the Darkness. It's a really nice start. I like these dice. Uh-oh, a 10. That's doubles, so another depth event triggers. This time... What the hell did I do with my... A chilling cacophony of raspy voices echoes from the shadows all around. Each hero in the Spanish fort takes 3 horror hits that do 2 sanity damage each. All right, so I'm looking for 4s. Wow, I like these dice. Incredible. Blocked. Fuck you. Depth event. Okay, one thing I forgot to do last turn was to roll for grit, so I'm going to do that. He does not get the grit, but I get the grit here. I'm not using the roll to move rule. Roll to move is a mechanic from like the late 80s that has no place in modern board gaming. So I use the standard move 4 spaces rule, because I'm not a baby, so I don't want to play with baby mechanics. I want some predictability in my randomness. I'm just going to move there. And that's going to be it for his turn. He's going to explore. So, to 735. Experience. And we find the smashed wall. Smashed wall. You know what? Orient this just so. Okay. Exploration token goes out. This one has a specialty advanced encounter associated to it. I need to consult the mission real quick and just make sure. Passage map. Exploration token is revealed. It gains 1 extra encounter for each door gate icon printed on the token. Okay, that's too many fucking encounters. But, oh well. Okay, let's see what we got. So that would be 2, 1 for each. 2, 3, 4, plus invasive jungle. So I suppose we'll start with that. A large hole is broken out of the wall here. Chunks of stone and splintered wood are piled high as the brilliant light pours in through the shattered opening. The dense jungle foliage has begun to creep in through the hole, threatening to overtake this section of the fort. As you examine the ruined stonework, you begin to realize only too late that the vines themselves seem to be moving. Agility 5+ test. I have an agility of 5. So hopefully, yeah, we're good. It's successful. Gain 10 XP for each 5+ rolled. I think it was just the one as you fend off the lashing vines. So he goes up to 745. Close to that next level up. So that's it for that. And then we need 4 more encounter cards. No clue. Recheck the rules on this. I could have sworn that each exit or each tile could only have 1 exit. Do not use the door gate icons printed on exploration tokens. Instead, they all include only a single door. Yeah. So that up. Single door, 4 encounters. 1, 2, 3, 4. In case you're curious, I am using these card holders from BCW to organize all the decks kind of off screen. Very helpful. I'm doing a series on Brimstone organization, and I'm sure I will end up covering those during that series, so look forward to that. Evil in the walls. A scratching sound echoes through the dark hall. As you strain to listen, you realize it is coming from within the stone itself. Someone is trapped behind the walls. You tap on the stone and it taps back, matching your pattern of knocks. You've got to get them out of there. Strength 5+ test. Okay. Okay, successful. Gain 25 XP as you smash out a section of the stonework. Okay. Then, if more than half of the heroes pass the test, as you smash the final stones free, a moving shadow rushes past you from within the wall, disappearing into the dark. Roll a depth event. You've got to be shitting me. This is like my fucking 4th depth event today. Ugh. Fucking horror hits. Alright. I want to waste a grid on that. I really don't. So, I believe... Man, death events. Oh, no. No. Dark Dread. Shit. Fuck that roll. It's another Growing Dread card. That's weird. It's rare that you see one that penalizes you for being successful. I guess we did successfully smash the wall open. Glimmering in the water. A section of the stone wall and floor are broken out, collapsed and washed away by the rolling tides that crash against the castle wall. That's cool. It's very thematic. This is the smashed wall after all. Forming a small tide pool in the dark rubble and sand below, the ocean waters foam as they gather here, swirling with each wave. A gleam catches your eye below the surface. If you crawl down into the pool, you may be able to reach it. It's an agility 6+ test. I have an agility of 5. Come on, baby. Oh no. That did not roll as a 6. Yeah, I'm gonna spend my grit to re-roll that. I have a chance to get some loot here if I roll my 6. Aha, there it is. Successful. Draw D3 loot cards and choose one to keep. Okay. I have my cards spread out all over the table because I'm playing this as a campaign, so I gotta go over here and get my loot cards. Also gonna bring my bigger chair back over here. Because I'm constantly filming content, I have to switch up where my chairs and such are because I use both sides of my table to film. It's just one of the many sacrifices that I make for the channel, which I'm sure you're all very appreciative of. I get D3. 2. Okay. Cool. Ancient statue. Golden trinkets. Oh, I will take the ancient statue. 200 gold, 20 XP, and I get to recover a grit, which I just spent. That's a cool one. It's one of the new loot cards that come with this deck. You know, like, I love these games. I love the system. I love the frogs. But I do occasionally get irritated by some of the repetition. One of those things being that, you know, typically your loot and scavenge cards in the core boxes at least are usually like the same, like they're interchangeable, which is not the case in the adventure sets, which I really appreciate. But which I will also probably be irritated with when the Lost Tombs comes out, because presumably they will be the same. It's the same thing with the depth events and the madness and injury charts. They're always the same. I don't really understand why you would think that there would be thematic, you know, madnesses or insanities that you could get in different worlds, or different types of injury. You know, it often smacks to me as a kind of a lack of a lack of effort, but there is an argument to be made for standardizing this stuff so that conceivably you wouldn't have to go get the different. I always do pull out like the depth event chart for the world that I'm currently in, the real world location, but technically you probably don't have to because they're always the same. So I get it. There's bonuses, there's pluses and minuses, and I don't hold it against the frogs too bad. Echoes in the dark. Talking amongst yourselves as you pass through the dark halls, you abruptly stop. Voices just ahead. Straining to listen, all you hear is silence. Hello? Who's there? You call out. A hollow voice sounds back. Hello? Who's there? Chuckling to each other, you realize it is merely an echo of your own voice. Your blood runs cold as the echoed voice continues. Come closer. Every hero immediately hears voices in the dark, so you take d6 horror hits. So 3 horror hits. Looking for 4s. Not getting any. I'll spend my grid again. So it takes 2 sanity damage. If more than half of the heroes took sanity damage from these horror hits, also draw a darkness card. I'm not doing that. That's overly punitive to single players. That's kind of bad design. Blind soldier. Slumped against one wall, a dead soldier rests, his eyes black and gory holes that have been gouged out by his own hand. Oh my gosh. As you draw closer to inspect the body, he suddenly screams, drawing breath and staggering to his feet. I can still see it, he hisses. Don't look at it. I can still see it. Cunning 6+. Probably not going to pass this. Nope. Failed. God, Jesus. Failed, you recoil from the pitiful wretch, draw a growing dread card and add it to the fucking stack. Mamma mia. And that's it for the fucking room of endless encounters. And our movement trick should be there, I believe. We start there, 1, 2, or there. Okay, so far we've had nothing but real shit ass fucking luck with these goddamn growing trade cards. This is fucking abominable. Just getting hammered with these things. On the other hand, we're rolling tremendously for holding back the darkness. No grits. Continue on. A rampart. Okay. Since there's, basically never any backtracking in this game, we shall go ahead and reposition. Okay, so we got a rampart. We know there's only one exit. So, if I'm playing with others, I'll usually roll these, but we're just by ourselves. And I'm just trying to do what makes the map the cleanest, basically. So we'll just throw them out there. This drives me crazy. All right. Exploration token. It's revealed. There is one door on it, so that's 1, 2 encounters. Man, what's with all the encounters? Beams of sunlight. Shining through the darkness, a beam of brilliant sunlight forms a cross on the floor as it pours in from a window cut into the thick stone wall. Your heart is raised by the warmth of its glow in this cold and unforgiving place. There may yet be hope. Spirit 6+. Oh man, I need this. Yes! Okay. If successful, gain 20 XP and heal D6 wounds sanity. So I heal my sanity damage back up. If half or more... See, this is another one of those things that... It's kind of weird when you have just one hero. If half or more of the heroes succeeded, you may also cancel a growing dread card in the stack or the ongoing effect of a previous growing dread card. I've had such shit luck. I'm taking advantage of that. Fuck you people. You can call me a cheater, I don't care. Lust for power. The fortress is a monument to the unbridled and manifest desire for control, riches, and power. Now fallen to shadow and death, it is little more than a wretched tomb for those whose ambition and greed lead them down a dark path of ruin. This test requires a number of successes equal to or greater than your total number of corruptions and mutations. Okay, well, I only have one corruption, so it's a spirit test again. So 4+, 3 successes. If successful, gain 25 XP and you may remove D3 corruption. Okay, awesome. So I don't even have the corruption that I came in here with. And I get another 25 XP. Oh, and I should have gotten an XP for coming into the room too. So that's 30 XP. We're leveling up pretty quick. Alrighty. The journey continues. Okay. Comes back around to holding back the darkness. Just can't seem to miss today. Awesome. Going for grit. No grit. Moving 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't have anything cool that I've been missing here. I believe so. Okay, so just goes right back around to holding back the darkness again. Nice. Man, I love these Tradera dice. I cannot recommend these dice enough. They are poorly balanced or something. I swear I've never had such a run holding back the darkness. It's incredible. Grit. Oh, so close. Goes there. Gets 5 XP. The armory. That's this. Sorry to run out of. Okay. Expiration token. A clue. All right. Whenever a clue is found, that exploration token gains attack Dark Acolytes. Okay. First clue found is the location of the stolen relic. After resolving all encounters and attacks there, one hero must take the relic. Okay, so for now, we just know that we are getting attacked, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 encounters to go through. Wow, this is an encounter-heavy mission. So we start with the room-specific encounter. Well, should I start by spawning those guys? It really doesn't matter. I just need to remember to do it. Cursed steel. Swords, helmets, and halberds line the walls in this chamber, an armory for the fort. Casting the lantern's light across the racks of weapons and armor, the reflections shimmer and sizzle across the tainted steel with a deep red glow that you only see from the corner of your eye. This place has been corrupted by the power of the darkness, as has everything in it. I don't know who writes the lore and flavor text and whatnot for this game, but they do a hell of a job. It is very thematic. All hero armor and to hit rolls on this map tile need to be 1 higher than normal to succeed. 6+ still succeeds. And heroes may not get critical hits on this map tile. Okay, so I'm gonna just pull out of here for this fight. Remains in play. Alright. And then we got 3 more encounters. Barred door. Muffled screams and pleas for help echo out from behind a massive wooden door here. But the door is barred with heavy chains and metal braces. You get to choose either force the door or leave them to their fate. If I leave them to their fate, every hero takes D8 horror hits or 1 corruption hit. Hero's choice as you ignore the screams. If I force the door successfully, there's no one inside, just dusty storage and the stench of death. Every hero must draw a loot card and a scavenge card. If failed, take D8 wounds, ignoring defense and armor. And another hero that has not yet made this attempt may attempt it. I'm going to leave them to their fate. Fuck those guys. I'll just take the 1 corruption hit. I highly, highly recommend getting a player sheet that you can write this stuff down on, because it's a ridiculous amount of stuff to try and track with the tokens and whatnot. Oh, was there any kind of XP on that? No. The beating heart. Thundering in your ears, the pounding of a beating heart haunts your mind. With every step, it grows louder and harder to ignore. It knows what you have done. It's only a matter of time now until everyone knows your dark secret. Spirit 5+. Got it. If successful, gain 20 XP as the telltale beating subsides. You all might get to see my Jargona native level up. I'm not even going to read what happens if you fail, because I want to save that as a surprise for myself and for you. Startled horse. Rearing up, a startled horse neighs and kicks as you approach. Spooked by something in the shadows, it froths with terror. As it bucks and shrieks, you can see a scrap of paper tied to its saddle. You may be able to reach it if you can get close enough without getting trampled. All right, so you got to do an agility 5+ test. Good. I love these fucking dice. If successful, gain 15 XP as you pull the paper loose and back away. Then do a luck 5+ test. Luck. We got a luck of 2. There's no way I'm this lucky. Yes! 5 and a 6. Oh my god. Oh. If successful, the note carries a dire warning. Cancel a growing dread card. Bye-bye. If failed, it is gibberish scrawled in blood. Draw a growing dread card and add it to the stack. Wow. Well, our fortunes have turned around. This is very exciting. Okay, and then I get attacked by 2... Wait, well... Dark Acolytes based on the threat level. Low equals 2, medium... Okay, so I get attacked by 2 Dark Acolytes. And my Dark Acolytes are right here. These guys are going to be very difficult, no doubt. So, it's supposed to be, I think, that. I try not to worry too much about the perfect spawning as with everything else with this game, because it's a little finicky and it's just easier to blow past it. All right. The Dark Acolytes. Here we go. I've done an unboxing video on these guys, but since you might not have seen that, I'll go ahead and read this stuff. So they're Initiative 5, which means they are slower than I am, which means they're about to get fucked up. Zealots. This enemy does +1 damage on all of its combat hits for each wound marker it currently has. Runic Protection. This enemy is immune to critical hits unless the attacker is adjacent. They also have a cover 4+ save against all damage effects caused by spells, explosives, and by attacks that include or are modified by an item with a Darkstone icon. I don't have any of those. So they don't get their cover, and since I'm going to be attacking melee, they will not be immune to critical hits unless I choose to engage them on the Cursed Steel map tile, which I will not be doing. I'm going to pull back and force them to come to me. And then Arcane Lore. At the start of this enemy group's activation, roll a d6 for each model in the group. On a roll of 4+, draw and play an arcane magic spell cast by that model in addition to its normal attack for the turn. They've got a move of 5, escape is 3+, range 4, melee 4, combat 3, damage 2, 3 defense, 8 health. All right. Hope you guys are ready to get got, you punks. Mess you up with the tactics. I'll just throw that there. We'll throw that back there. Okay. That's basically it. And then, of course, you have the dagger resting upon the ridiculously huge dagger token. All right, so it goes back around to holding back the darkness. 2. Unbelievable. The holding back the darkness freaking luck storm continues. I think that's supposed to be there now. All right, so as I said, I do not want to fight these guys on that map tile because I'm weaker and they have the potential to cast those spells. So I'm actually going to fall back. I'm going to go 2, 3. I'm going to go right there because I don't think they will be able to target me with anything from there. And then I can kind of rush them next time. Okay. Yep. Yep, that sounds good. All right, so it is their turn. At the start of the enemy group's activation, roll a d6 for each model in the group. So, starting... Whew. A roll of 4+, draw and play an arcane magic spell. Cast by that model in addition to its normal attack for the turn. Okay, so they'll move. Gotta move a 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now they've done exactly what I was hoping they would do, which was come to the center. So now we'll come here and engage them on the other side of the map and not have to face the negative effects. But I do have to face some arcane magic, although if it requires line of sight, it's not going to do them any good anyways. If it's a healing spell, it's not going to do them any good. So just Probably couldn't have worked out any better. Cursed Pact. Every model in the spellcaster's enemy group takes 1 wound, ignoring defense and abilities, and gains +2 combat until the end of the turn. Okay, so that's like a perfect example. They each take a wound, and they gain nothing for it. And then Rokal's Revenge. All enemies heal up to 2 wounds each. For every 3 wounds total healed in this way, every hero takes 1 corruption hit. So they heal the hits that they just took right back. So basically nothing happens. And we go back to holding back the darkness. Did I remember to roll for grit? I don't think I did. Damn, I should have kept that. Ooh, look at that. Another successful hold back the darkness roll. This is unprecedented for me, at least. All right, so it's my turn. Rolling for grit, not getting it. I'm gonna move right here. Hello. You about to get fucked up. Because both my initiative and my agility are higher than theirs, so I'm getting +4 damage off of these 2 bad boys. So let's do it. I have combat 2. They are not beasts. But I do have all these duelist tokens, so we're gonna need to take a look at those. I may well decide that one of those is of value. I wish that this was printed somewhere else. I don't think they gave you a card for those, but I am gonna look. Because that would actually be really nice. Nope. I also forgot to give myself my heroic effort card. So I get to draw 2 heroic effort cards. At the start of every fight. But I do not see a card for the duelist tokens. There might be one floating around. There, you know, I must have like 4,000 cards for this game, so it's not easy to keep track of them. Let's see what we got for the heroic efforts. Play at any time. Prevent all wound sanity damage you're about to take. My God. Play at any time. You gain armor 5 plus and spirit arm 5 plus until the end of the next fight or the current one. Wow. Those are incredibly powerful. Anyways, dueling tokens, I've got Sidestep, Mighty, and Mighty Blows. Sidesteps, choose a single enemy combat hit just taken and roll an escape test. If you are agility 3 or higher, roll an extra die and choose which to use. If successful, cancel that hit. And then I got Mighty Blow. Add your strength to the damage on one of your combat hits. Wow. I've got a strength of 4, so that could be impressive. Let's go ahead and try and fuck these guys up first, and then we'll worry about that. All right. So we have rolled 1 hit and 1 miss. Not a crit. Now, most of their special abilities don't activate. I'm adjacent, so they don't get their special cover. Or they don't get they're not immune to critical hits because I'm adjacent. They also don't have their cover 4+ because I'm not using a spell or explosive or a darkstone attack. So that means that I am doing 1, 2, 6 damage by default. 3 of it would get through. Health of 8. How much did those Mighty Blow tokens cost? I don't care. I'm going to spend a Mighty Blow, which... Wait, am I? What did I say? 2, 6, 3 gets through. Nah, it still wouldn't kill him. I don't have any other way to modify my damage, do I? No. Okay, so right now I'm doing 3 damage. If I spend a Mighty Blow, I can do an additional 4, which would leave him with just 1 hit point. But he would still be alive. And I want to say that those were fairly expensive. Mighty Blow. Yeah, those were 100 gold. I don't think it's worth it. So I'm just going to do the 3 damage. Okay, and that's it for my turn, so it is now their turn. So this guy starts out, gets to roll a d6. He doesn't get his spell. He is doing +1 damage on his combat hits. Man, for each wound it currently has. That is insanely powerful. So he's doing his combat of 3. And he misses. Fuck you. This guy is right here. He is moving where just do they so movement is a rule that I still occasionally fumble with. I'm just gonna look this up real quick. Because I just can't recall if they're meant to move as far as they can, like if he's going to try and get behind me, which really only benefits me, but let's just see. As far as it can be to a space adjacent to that hero. Yeah, so he'll move behind me. Pincher attack. Too bad it doesn't work that way. Yeah, he does get his arcane magic. I need to reshuffle this. These guys are tough. That's a lot of health for like your basic noob. All right, Arcane Energy Bolt. A random hero within range 8 and line of sight to the spellcaster is the target of the following ranged attack. Arcane Energy Bolt. Shots 2, damage P. Use the spellcaster's range to hit. Ignores defense. He misses. Man, these dice. Guys, buy the Tradera dice. Holy shit. Alright, and now he gets to do his regular attack, which gets him 3 hits. So, they ain't perfect. I do have my sidestep tokens, though. I'll make sure I remember what those do. The one thing I have not figured out quite yet for table organization of the game is where to put all the books and cards and all this shit. I just have them piled in a corner right now. I was just looking at like little magazine rack holders. I've tried things like that before. They tend to be a little, they're just not heavy enough, so they like fall over and shit. But I don't love having these just sitting here. And if I need it though, I have my sidestep it so I can cancel. An enemy hit may be used after defenses rolled. So. Alright. So I block one of his hits. 2 are coming through. I get to do an agility. I get to roll an escape test. I get to choose 2 dice if I want to dodge another one of those hits, which are damage 2. Yeah, why not? The sidesteps are very, very cheap. So I roll 2 dice, and I'm trying to escape. Well, I guess no. Yeah. Failure. Fuck you, sidestep. So I take 4 damage. Comes back around to holding back the darkness. That doesn't look good. We finally failed to hold back the darkness. Nothing happens though. Okay. Rolling for... Yes! I got some grit, finally. Woo! I'ma fuck you up now! Alright, targeting the one that I was already targeting. It's the same attack. I got 1 hit, doing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. He's got 3 defense, so he takes 4 more. That leaves him with just 1 hit point left. I could grit that damage and try and boost it up, but I think that's a bad idea. No. Should be counting this the other way. Yeah, he's down to just 1. Nothing else I can do, unfortunately. Although, I forgot about my padded trousers. I always forget about these. Prevent 1 wound you're about to take. So, I would not have taken one of those wounds from that guy. Okay, so it's their turn. Number 1's up. He's rolling for his magic. Gets it. Casts it. The arcane magic. Pretty cool mechanic. Kind of really hope he doesn't get that heal. It's another arcane energy bolt. 2 shots, needs 4s. Misses. You fucking idiot. Does his attack. 2 hits. They don't crit. Truly fucking terrible defense. That would mean that I would take 4 damage. I need to look up. I can't quite remember. Do you just get to hold on to these heroic effort cards? Draw 1 of these cards, or 2 if you're only a single hero. Discard when played. Yeah, I don't want to waste either of those on just 4 damage. Especially since I soak 1 of it. I can also soak it with the elegant shoulder. Yeah, I'm just gonna soak it with that so I don't take any of that damage. Next one's up. He's casting I really like these enemies. They're like the perfect complexity. They just got the 1 deck. Most of the stuff on their cards is fairly straightforward. Sometimes these enemies, they're so complicated that it's just like out of control. All right. Rokal's Revenge. All enemies heal up to 2 wounds each. Damn it. So, he's got 3 health left. And then he does his attack. 2 hits. Defense. Blocked. Holding back the darkness. Successful. Rolling for grit. Failed. Rolling for attack. Man, I'm really getting fucking no joy on my attacks here. I'm gonna stick with that because it's quite likely that I'm gonna kill him. Ugh. Fuck. So 1 plus 4 is 5. He's got defensive 3. Which means only 2 gets through. So he would still be alive. I really need to kill this asshole. I'm gonna spend my grit. Reroll that. There we go. Okay. He's dead. I get 35 XP. Very close to holding up now. All right, it's the other one's turn. No magic. Only 1 hit with his attack. I block it. You fool. Okay. Holding back the darkness. 6 and a 5. Success. No crits. Come on, baby. Big hits. There we go. Ha! That's what I'm fucking talking about. You're going down, bitch. Because you're taking a minimum of 4 damage. Oh, I did forget about enemy does +1 damage on all of its combat hits for each wound marker it currently has. I don't think that came up. Even if it did, I would have soaked in it because I only soaked 4 damage with this, so I could have soaked 5. I don't recall. Well, I'll dock myself a hit point for missing that. I try to keep it fair. Yep, he's got nothing to save him from that crit. So, rolling the crits damage. A 1, of course. That's still 5 damage, though, so. That takes him down to 3. And that is the end of Mr. Dark Acolyte number 2. Huzzah! If anybody's watching The Great on Netflix or Hulu, that's a reference to that. Hilarious show. Love it. Victory. Okay, so we get to heal up 3. We'll take it all in health. And we get a loot card. And the journey continues. And we presumably get the dagger. Take another quick look at the rules. A Darkstone Shard. Fuck you, Darkstone Shard. It's like the last thing I want. Another shitty Darkstone Shard. Well, they are slightly more useful in the Spanish fort, because you can upgrade your camp with them. Only 30 more XP till we level up. It's pretty dope. We're cruising here. I've been playing this quite a bit more, so if you've ever watched one of my previous Brimstone playthroughs, you will notice that this is much cleaner because I've played the game recently. All right. Yeah. One hero must take the relic. So I get the relic giving me +2 damage and -1 on my defense rolls. Now all I got to do is find 2 more clues, which we have a good chance of finding. Yep. All right.